An article came out yesterday because it was the 15th anniversary of the release of Inglourious Bastards. I cannot understand how Inglourious Bastards is 15 years old, but it is. And an article was written where they ranked the top 10 Quentin Tarantino characters of all time. Think about all the movies Tarantino's done, from Pulp Fiction to Reservoir Dogs to Once Upon a Time in Hollywood to Inglourious Bastards to Django Unchained to Jackie Brown. I could go on. And they came up with their top 10 list. Who would you have put at number one? Who is the number one character in your mind? You're thinking Hans Landa. You're thinking the opening scene of Inglourious Bastards, the greatest opening scene of all time. You're thinking of how you felt during that opening scene. Is he going to figure out who's underneath the floorboards? You're right, he is. Is there any way that there could be more tension in an opening scene of any movie in the history of movies? And the architect of that scene was Quentin Tarantino. The lead player was Christoph. He won 2 Academy Awards. What do I think of their top 10 list? Well, you got Aldo Rain way too high. Number 4, great character, but no, not a top 4. I'm a Kill Bill guy, but you have The Bride number 5. I'm just curious how you'd have The Bride above Mia Wallace. It's the same actress. Mia Wallace would be above The Bride when you look at what she did in Pulp Fiction as Uma Thurman, or the character as written by Quentin Tarantino. I would take umbrage with that, though I love the fact that you're doing it. However, I wanted to give you my top 5. So here we go. Top 5 Quentin Tarantino characters of all time. Number 5, Marcellus Wallace, as played by Ving Rhames in Pulp Fiction. Not on the DraftKings list at all, shockingly. Marcellus Wallace is one of the great mysteries of all time. What's the Band-Aid for on the back of the neck, and what is in his briefcase? And my God, how can he fit a red ball in his mouth? Number 4, Pam Grier, who played Jackie Brown in Jackie Brown. The character Jackie Brown is written by Quentin Tarantino. It's a movie that many people haven't seen that I have in my top 5 Tarantino movies. I may have it at number 2. I think I did a top 5 with Adnan. But the character Jackie Brown, if you haven't watched it, go watch it right now, immediately. Number 3, Jules Winfield. DraftKings got that right. Put him at number 2. I have him at number 3 because you forgot somebody in your top 2. That character, who doesn't talk about the wallet? Who doesn't talk about not getting shot? Who doesn't talk about the Bible? Who doesn't talk about the T-shirt and the guts on the seat? Samuel Jackson has made a career because he played Jules Winfield. And Quentin Tarantino's chef's kiss. I wanted to put in my top 5 Quentin Tarantino's character in Pulp Fiction. Don't forget, he put himself in that movie. Yeah, he's the one in a bathrobe. And I don't mean Eric Stoltz. Number 2, Alabama Whitman. Where was True Romance in DraftKings top 5? True Romance is a movie that is written by Quentin Tarantino, so it counts. Not directed, but written by Quentin Tarantino. Alabama Whitman was a character played by Patricia Arquette in a movie that I'm begging you to watch. Christian Slater and Alabama Whitman as 2 outlaws. Dennis Hopper is a villain. It is in my top 100. It better be, Coca. It has to be. It has to be. And, of course, the number 1 Tarantino character. Number 1. Yes, DraftKings, Mr. Pratt, you got it. It's Hans Landa. Sometimes I don't watch Inglourious Bastards from start to finish very often, but I'll tell you what I do watch very often is that opening scene. Why? I'm strange that way. I like to feel that anxiety. You know me. I like the stomach aches. I like the discomfort. I like feeling it. And I like thinking about how I felt the first time I watched Inglourious Bastards because I remember exactly where I was. It was in a theater. I'm watching that opening scene and my mouth is wide open. And the reason I remember is that I had candy with me. I was not eating anything. When I'm not eating during a scene, it means you've got my attention. That's the top 5. DraftKings, we should do that again. I love it when you make these lists.